If you're looking to self-publish a book and you want to be able to format the ebook yourself, then this video is for you. As a book formatter myself, I can safely say that ebook formatting is probably the most frustrating part of the book publishing process. I have an old video on this YouTube channel where I give you guys a quick tutorial on how to format an ebook using Microsoft Word, but it's a little clunky and requires a lot of trial and error. So today we're getting past Microsoft Word and we're going to use a professional ebook formatting software. I'm going to show you how to easily format an ebook into an EPUB file or a MOBI file to upload to Kindle Direct Publishing. But not only that, I'll also be showing you how to create an interactive ebook where you can embed photos, videos, quizzes, and a whole bunch of other interactive features that you don't get with regular ebooks. So if you want to learn how to do that quickly and easily, be sure to stay tuned for the entire video. Hello everyone, my name is Mandi Lynn. I'm an author, book cover designer, and the creator of the Book Launch Planner, and today we're talking all about ebook formatting. Before we get into it, I do want to thank Kotobee, today's video sponsor, and we are going to be talking all about their software that you can use to format your ebooks in endless different ways. So what is Kotobee? Kotobee has a whole bunch of different apps that you can use, but today we're going to be talking about Kotobee Author, which is the software that you can use to format your ebooks. The app allows you to create interactive ebooks, export them into multiple different formats, and deliver them to eager readers. So using the Kotobee Author software, you can do one of two different things. You can format a regular ebook, and when I say regular ebook, I mean the type of ebook that you're going to upload to Kindle Direct Publishing. Because if you guys didn't know, when it comes to formatting ebooks for publishing on places like Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing, you're kind of limited in terms of what type of formatting you can do. And when I say this, I mean you're limited in terms of display mainly, because every time you open up an ebook on a device, it's going to view differently from device to device, and you're pretty limited in terms of how fancy you can get with your formatting, especially when it comes to fonts and photos and embedding certain things. 9 times out of 10, a regular ebook will get you by just fine. But if you're someone who wants to create a workbook, or maybe you have an online course that you're creating and you want an ebook to go along with the course, you may want those interactive elements, especially if you want to put quizzes at the end of each chapter. That's where Kotobee's interactive elements come into hand, and they're super, super fun and useful to use. So today I'm going to be showing you how to do both, a regular ebook and then an interactive ebook. Kotobee Author is super easy to use because they have ebook templates, so you can either start from scratch or you can work off of one of their templates and import your document into the template and do some tweaking from there. And then another super fun option is that if you create an interactive ebook, rather than exporting it as an ebook, you can actually export it as an app that people can download from an app store like Google Play or iTunes. I'm not going to talk about that too much today, but I did want to mention it just because it's a super fun element. Now, as we go through this video, you may be like, oh my god, I want to try out this software right here, right now. There will be a link down below in the description. Feel free to click it and you'll be able to try out the software for free. So with that said, let's jump into the first tutorial, which is formatting a regular novel, and we're going to use one of their novel templates. So here I am in Kotobee Author. This is what you see when you first open it. You can choose to hit the blank template right there, or you can choose from one of their many other templates. So you can click on whatever you want if you guys want to try out the software yourself. You can also click on some of the ebooks by just going to their website and clicking through a few of them to really see what your options are. Now, as you can see, these really fancy, colorful ones, those I would say are more of the interactive ones. So these you wouldn't be able to upload to Kindle Direct Publishing. The only two that will look the exact same on Kindle Direct Publishing when you upload it are these two. So I'm just going to click on the one that doesn't have photos because 9 times out of 10, that's the one you're going to be working on when you're publishing a novel or just a regular ebook that you want to upload to Kindle Direct Publishing. So here we are. This is the title page right here, and your navigation is going to be all along the sides here. So I'm just going to click around so you guys can get the idea of what's going on. So this is the front page or the title page, like I said. Then we have a blank page. We have the table of contents. These are the chapters, and as you can see, we have different options for the chapters within this template. So basically you choose which display you like most, and that's the one you go with. So we have kind of a standard one where we have the chapter and then the title, and same with here, just displayed differently. Here's a different display option where the one is off to the corner, and then another display where the one is right there. So that is our template, but in order to really show you how to do this, I want to go ahead and format one of my own books. I'm not going to format the entire book, but I will kind of give you as much of a rundown as I can. So we're going to click this button up in the corner, and that just says new, and we are going to start fresh. Okay, so here we are in the blank document, and we're just gonna start and putz along as we go. So first up in the corner, we have all the important info, but first things first, cover image. So we're gonna hit that edit cover image button, and we're gonna find the cover for Meet Me at the Summit and just upload it. Okay, so the cover is uploaded. We're going to update the book title to Meet Me at the Summit. And we'll come back to the book manager info later. I want to go straight into creating the ebook itself. Now, I found the easiest way for me, because I like to kind of go through it nitty gritty and make sure everything looks okay, is to paste things in chapter by chapter. So for me, I'm going to go to my document. So I've got my Word document here. This is my entire book. And we're going to start with this page here. Oops, I didn't want to do that. This is my also by page, so I can list out all my books at the beginning, and you can really play around with the formatting here, but I'm just going to make it pretty simple, and most importantly, because this is an ebook, we can create links to all of these books that we're mentioning. So I'm going to minimize, and we're going to go to Essence, and I'm just going to go ahead and copy that URL, go back to Kotobee, highlight Essence, and then add in the link. So to do that, I just click this link button over here in the corner, paste in the URL. I always like links to open up in a new window and hit create. So as you can see, I can do that for all of these. I'm not going to do that today because it'll take me a bit. So when you hit that link button, you have a few different options. You can link to a website. You can link to a location in the book. So if you wanted it to jump to a different chapter, you can have a message pop up. So if you want to just like make a note to the reader or something, or if you wanted an image to pop up, you can link it to audio, to an action. Again, this is kind of like jumping to another location in the book, or to an attachment. But 9 times out of 10, you're probably just going to use the regular link. Now, I'm going to go ahead and label this also by. So we're going to jump to the next little section. So we're going to label this Chapter 1 because that's what we're going to do. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to highlight all of Chapter 1. Now you may sit down and be like, oh my god, Mandy, that's annoying. Why would you want to copy and paste like that? And for me, I don't mind it. Maybe that's because I'm an ebook formatter by trade. So I'm just now going to highlight Chapter 1 and select heading and do the heading 1. Now, I know what you're thinking, Mandy, this is really annoying. Why would you want to paste it in chapter by chapter? So I'm going to show you how you can also not do that, where you can just paste in the entire book and edit it that way. So I'm going to hit new chapter, and I'm going to just highlight a bunch more chapters from my book and show you a quick example of how you can do this a little bit quicker if you would like. Okay, so I'm pasting in 4 different chapters right now. So I'm just going to go to the top. We see chapter 1 there. And now I am going to find chapter 2 and hit this split chapter button right here. So I'm just making sure that my mouse is in front of chapter 2. And split. And now we can see this is chapter 1. So I'm just going to label it appropriately off to that left-hand column. And this is chapter 2. And now we're going to find chapter 3. Again, put my mouse right in front of that chapter and hit split chapter. And there we go. That is chapter 3. And now I'm going to continue. I'm going to find chapter 4, put my mouse in the correct spot and hit split chapter again. So as you can see, this is a little bit quicker, so it's really whichever way you like most, whether it is pasting it in chapter by chapter or going through the entire thing yourself. And then this is a section break, and I am just going to center that, but do know you can use fancy section breaks. So I'm going to do that just to make an example for you guys. So I got rid of that old scene break, and now I just have my mouse there, and I'm going to click image, and I'm going to hit add image, and I'm going to find the image on my computer and add it in there. Okay, so I uploaded this little scene break photo and add it in there, and as you can see, that is way too big. So we are going to make it a little bit smaller. And to do that, I'm going to hit this little edit icon. So I'm just going to try out a few different things. I'm going to start with like 50 pixels and see how big that is. That's still a little small. So I'm just going to double click this and update it to 80 pixels. And I would say that's about the right height now. So there's my little fancy scene break. So all you have to do is find wherever your scene breaks are in your book and update it appropriately. So I'm not going to do the entire book here. I do want to fix this to be centered because front matter is usually centered. But now I'm going to go to Book Manager. And we are going to update a few things. So the author is Mandi Lynn. So publisher is Stonebridge Books. And then we have ISBN, which you paste in, and the copyrights holder. And you can also paste in the description of your book. So then we have here, this is table of contents. So I'm going to do the auto-generate table of contents page. And we're going to label it table of contents. And we are going to put it after the also by section. So once we hit OK on that, then it generates the table of contents. I can't see it here, but if you go to this customize bar, it will load the ebook so you can view it. And we see the table of contents, and then we also see like the table of contents off to that left-hand side where we didn't before. So this is where we can just click through and make sure that things look okay, which they do. So the only thing I want to change now is I want to make my chapter header bigger. And I know there are also ways that I could make it look fancy, like in the examples I showed you guys earlier. But the easiest way to make it look fancy is to go ahead and choose one of those templates and work off of the template. That way I'm not like redesigning my whole ebook. So for now, this is all I wanted to do. I just wanted like a standard ebook, nothing too fancy. Now this right here is very plain, and as you saw earlier, there are ways that you can make it look a lot fancier and prettier. I mean, there's a ton of settings up here where you can change the font color, you can highlight things, you can do a lot, but again, if you're uploading to KDP, you don't want all these fancy things, you want, you know, kind of the basics. If you want to get really fancy, you can add in an image at the start of every chapter, so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So I just added in my little bus here, and I'm just messing with the settings on it until I'm happy with it, which I kind of like this setting here. Like, we have a cute little bus, and in theory we'd have that little bus at the beginning of every chapter. But like I said, you can also use some of their templates and just paste your book into the templates, and that would work perfectly. But But now I want to go into the customization page because there is a lot that you can customize. Some of this stuff is specific to when you're, using the Kotobee reader. But for this example specifically, I want to talk about when you're formatting your book to upload to Kindle Direct Publishing. Because in that case, a lot of this stuff doesn't really matter, like the colors of things don't really matter. The page animation and all of that, it doesn't matter too much because it's not going to apply when you upload it to KDP anyways. Now what does matter is when we go to this export page. So as you can see, there's a ton of exporting options, and the one that you're going to want is the EPUB. You can also do Kindle, but I would recommend EPUB because EPUB applies to everything. Because actually these days Kindle is actually preferring that you upload EPUB files rather than MOBI files. So this is what you would need in order to upload your book to Kindle Direct Publishing or Draft to Digital or any of those places. So once you finish your ebook, obviously this isn't really finished, but it's finished for the tutorial. And I'm going to just hit that create button. And then there you have it, your book exported. And then you can go ahead and upload your ebook and make sure you preview it to make sure it all looks good. And if you want to, you can come back in here and you can customize things a little bit more just to your liking. So now comes the fun part. We're going to be doing interactive ebook stuff. So a lot of what I mentioned here, you won't be able to upload to like Kindle or any of those places, but you'll be able to use this ebook to give like directly to clients. So if you're someone who does workshops or webinars or online courses and you want to have this interactive material to give to your clients, especially if you want to do like quizzes, because you can actually view the quiz answers that people fill out, then stay tuned because you're going to be really excited for this. So what I have here right now is I've imported the first chapter, which is the introduction chapter to my book, Plan a Profitable Book Launch. This is the 5th book in the Marketing for Authors series by myself and Bethany Atazada. So if you want to check it out, go ahead. But I just used the intro chapter to show you guys some stuff. There are some few other chapters in here, but they are not for my own book, as you see when we click around, but that is just so I can show you stuff later. But I wanted to import one of my books just to give you guys an example of what you can do. I just chose a template that looked kind of simple because I'm not one in for all the bells and whistles, so I chose this one, and we have, I pasted things in one by one. So I kind of went into my Word doc section by section. I first pasted this section in, and as you can see, this is just all caps and in bold to kind of make it look a little bit fancier. And then this was already in the template, so I'm going to be using this sort of style as like subheaders throughout the book. I just wanted you guys to see that you can create these lists and bullet points and a bunch of cool other things. And I wanted to go through quickly up here what all these different commands are. So we have paste, paste as plain text, and paste from Word. So all of that is kind of self-explanatory. Paste from Word just means you're pasting from a Word document. And then these are just to mess with colors. So if I highlight this, I can make this text red. If I highlight this, I can highlight this text red. You get the idea. This is so I can insert a table. So if like you have a chart or something, you can insert that. This is a horizontal line. So I can put my mouse there and click here. And now we have a horizontal line, which kind of works as a scene break or a section break. We can insert special characters. So we have all of these lists of different characters right here that you can have fun with. This is a find feature, so if you want to do that, find and replace like you would in Word. And then we have the different settings for here. So we have your normal paragraph, heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4. You get the idea. We have the different fonts you can choose from, the font sizes. The fonts and the font sizes only matter for this sort of book that we're doing, where it's not going to be uploaded to KDP, because e-readers on like tablets and all that allow the readers readers to choose what font and font size they want to read in. Then we have just all the basic stuff. So we have bold, italic, underline, cross out. We have a few little like subscript and superscript. And what is this? Remove format. So if you don't like something, you can remove the formatting. We have a numbered list. We have a bullet list. This is to increase the indent. So if you want to indent an entire paragraph, you highlight it, click here, you get the idea. And then if I want to put it back. So that's great if you're doing stuff like quotations where it would be formatted slightly differently. And then we do have a literal quotation option, which is this, which is basically that indent feature. It puts it in italics and it adds this fancy little line here. So I'm going to undo that. And we can choose a bunch of different formatings. We can choose justify, left justify, you get the idea. This is saying that everything is coming from the left. This is everything coming from the right. But basically, just click around, get a feel for things. I want to go ahead and insert some fun stuff. So we have image, I already showed you guys image. We have gallery, which is like image, but you can flip through the images. We have link, I showed you guys linking earlier. And anchor basically is like a link, but it just brings you to a specific section in your document. So for example, if when I have the word the story, and when someone clicks on that, it might bring someone down to a specific section in the book, like right here, just for a quick example. I want to do the questions because those are the most fun to me. So let's say we're at the end of the chapter, and at the end of every chapter you want to do a little quiz to make sure people are paying attention. So we're going to put in some questions. So you can either score your questions, or you can score and create an answer report, or do nothing. So if this isn't an interactive thing like a course, then you're probably just going to hit do nothing. But if you hit answer report, you'll be able to get a report of what people answer. And if you hit score, people will be told like whether or not they got questions correct. So let's choose our first question. Let's label this introduction because that's the set of questions they are for. Let's do true or false. Fiction is based on a real story. True or false? And the correct answer is false. It's fiction. It's made up. So I'm just gonna do that one thing. But as you can see, you can add an explanation to the answer, you can add an image, you can add a reference point, and you can score the question. So people like, it could be 5 points or 10 points or whatever. But I'm going to hit create, and there you have it. We have this little question spot right here that people can use to submit their answers. And I just want to view it really quick. So that is in chapter 1. So this is the ebook viewing, and we're just going to go to the end. And we see this right here. We can hit true or false. And if I'm just going to hit false to see what happens, and we're going to hit submit answers. Oh, I forgot false was the correct answer. You get the idea. But that's what it would be like for readers as they go through the ebook. And then you can add in things like videos. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to add in a video right here. If you have a YouTube video, you can paste in the link, or if you have the actual files, you can upload it there. I'm just going to paste in my YouTube video link and hit create. And this is the video right here. So again, I'm just going to go to the ebook little viewer so I can view it. And let's see, here's the video. So as you can see, like, it's way too wide right now, but I can edit that. So it's way too wide, so I'm gonna go in and hit edit, and I'm going to, it's right now set the width to be at 100%, aka it's taking up 100% of the width of the book. I'm gonna set it to 50, and I'm gonna view it again. It will load. So as we can see, that looks way more like a normal YouTube video. You can also add in audio. It's the same thing as video, but instead of a video file, you do an audio file. And then these other things I'm not super familiar with, so I'm not going to tell you about them because frankly, I would probably do a bad job. But for the sake of seeing what other types of formatting you can do in this interactive layout, I'm going to click through the rest of this template. So as you can see, you can get really fancy. You know, this is made to kind of look a little bit like a textbook. So it's essentially an ebook textbook, which is really fun. And this type of formatting is normally limited just to print books, but now you can do all these other options. Like this, I actually really like this chapter header here. It's very fancy. And you can see all these different options that you can work with. Now, of course, you would want to choose just one type of chapter header and be consistent with it, but that's what these templates are for, is that you can go through and decide which one you like most. Now again, this template specifically would not be able to export as an interactive EPUB. You can export it as an EPUB, however, it just won't be viewable on on regular ebook devices. So in order to view this type of ebook, you would need to have your readers use the Kotobee Reader app. And this is what this Customize tab is really for, is that you can customize how the book will look in your app. So for example, if I go to this Design tab, you can play around with the colors. So as you can see, that changed the colors, or I could change it to these ruby colors. You can change it a whole bunch. There's a ton of different setting options, and this is to mess with all the settings of the Kotobee Reader and how it's going to be viewed. So the question is, if you have all these interactive elements, how are readers supposed to read it? You know, they can't read it on their Kindle because Kindle doesn't like those interactive elements in the fancy formatting. That's where Kotobee Reader comes in. So Kotobee Reader is a free ebook reading software. Anyone can download it to read as many books as they want for free as long as they've purchased the books. Kotobee Reader will allow readers to, of course, read the book, but if it has those interactive elements, they can click around, use all those elements, use the quiz functions, and they'll be able to get scored on the quizzes, and you can get the reports on the quizzes. It makes it so you have way more options. So finally, the last question would be, when would you want to use Kotobee? Well, really, you can use it whenever you want. You can use it when you're formatting to publish a book on KDP. You just have to be mindful that you don't use those interactive elements. You can format it to create course material. Like I said, creating those interactive quizzes is really fun and allows you to really interact with your students and track their progress. You can also use it to format ebooks that you want to use as content on your website. This could be free ebook downloads, or maybe an ebook that you want to sell directly on your website. You can make a million different types of ebooks, and it's just really about what your goal is and how you use Kotobee to reach those goals. If you want to learn more about Kotobee, be sure to check out the links down below. Otherwise, that is it for this tutorial. If you want even more content from my YouTube channel, be sure to join as a YouTube member, where I post monthly exclusive videos where I go into my specific goal setting, my marketing strategies, and my income reports. Otherwise, that is it for this video. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if you end up trying out Kotobee and if you like it. And I will see you guys all next week.